Welcome back, everyone, to Third Street Reactions. I'm Zach.
Shane.
We're back with...
Hey, I want to be in on this one.
Brett! Hey, Brett, we appreciate you being here, man. Brett gifted us with Pops. We don't really have any AOT Pops. He was humorous and got Zach's least favorite Titan.
Fucking
I think
That's his
it's
favorite.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, I'm sure you do if you're watching this, Brett is our editor. He's been editing this show from the beginning, and he edits multiple things for the channel. For some of you guys wondering, he is a guy I talk about who has a seasonal job, and he's back. So we're glad
to be back.
Gig.
Yeah.
Yep, good to be back.
Glad to. Yeah, I mean, I know it's intense, but then you get a good payday, and then you take the rest of your off. It's kinda nice. Yeah. Anyways, last episode we kind of had the flashback episode.
They actually get separated because Aaron asks Mikasa, "Hey,
What are we?
What are we? What am I to you? Like,
Yep.
how do you feel?"
And
It's almost
Mika's-
like he's looking for an out, but she just says we're friends or family. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
we're family.
family.
We're
Yeah,
family.
we're family.
And that guy
so-
shows up. You figured they were drinking. Something could have happened. Nothing happened.
No, and that could have been that moment.
Would you be
We discussed that in the post talk that if she had said yes,
Yeah.
how would that have affected Aaron? Would he have not done what he did?
Zeke even said the same thing. He goes, if she said family, that's not what she meant. Like, she's getting the headaches.
Yeah.
Made it sound like...
Yeah.
more
Oh,
than
yeah. You're
just-
right because
it's more than just family.
Yeah.
we find out that's kind of maybe that's why Aaron was even still searching for answers with Zeke, who had access to all the knowledge of his predecessor.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is one of the best animes I've watched. If it ends well, I mean, I don't think it's going to surprise us because all the surprises came already. I can't imagine like this very happy ending, but I want to be satisfied.
And
I
same
think
here.
it'd be. I don't imagine it being happy. It'll be kind of I can't remember what you would call that.
Bittersweet,
Yeah,
Bittersweet.
It'd be a bittersweet ending.
which is what they say Game of Thrones was going to be, too.
It was.
It's just bitter.
It was just bitter.
I kind of had both on it. I actually
my-
like John's ending. I like that he ended up in the...
My favorite character had a good ending, so I'm not too worried.
Yep.
About it. Sander,
Okay.
he died a
Yep.
good way.
That-
I
that
was-
This
the best
man,
part. That
this
was the
man
best
has
part
heard
of
us
that.
have this
That's
talk
the
all the
best
time.
part.
I know. That was it. I was satisfied with that ending. Everything else was just okay. Well, this sucks, but I'm not as engaged, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
pain is not as bad.
My question is, if you're trying to save your family and friends,
Yeah.
and you consider your friends, because he doesn't have any family left,
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be almost more motivated to save the woman he loves, though.
Well, what if we find out at the end of this that's what he did? I haven't seen
That
this
definitely...
shit.
I essentially believe that's what he kind of thinks he's doing.
Yeah, he's probably thinking like, I just did all this for you, and then he dies.
Yeah. And
And then she cuts his head off.
I just don't think I don't. If we're following the rules of the Western
That would be crazy.
Western narrative that has rubbed off on Eastern narratives, then this Aaron cannot have a happy ending. Essentially, he
No,
can.
it's
don't
too
think
bad.
so
He
He's
either.
late.
can.
He's
Well, he
too
cannot be.
committed.
Yeah, he cannot be redeemed.
Yeah,
He can redeem. I mean,
like Stannis, man.
I mean, if he was redeemed, he's going to die.
Stannis burned his daughter. There was no turning back.
No.
Yeah.
After that, he was
After
done.
that, he was done.
Done.
Do your duty then. What does he tell him?
He said, "Go on, then do your duty,"
Yeah.
and that's it. Kills his ass.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I mean, I love this show. It's one of the best animes I've ever watched. I don't think I would... My favorite anime of all time is Dragon Ball Z. I'm not saying it's the best, but I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. I'd
The
recommend...
one that influenced me the most in my life is Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'll admit that to anybody.
Yeah.
But my favorite is probably
Yes.
Brotherhood.
And it deserves to be.
FMA
It's ranked
Brotherhood.
number one on multiple lists. It's one of the best ones I've ever watched. I can recommend that before I can recommend Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And I'd recommend this show to anyone. Like, not like my dad or your dad. But anyone who is, like, into, like, any kind of sci-fi.
Any millennials or younger.
Yeah, I would say, well, like, I don't care if you don't like anime. Well,
Yeah.
give this show a chance. Just like Full Metal, I would say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just like the mystery of this show is learning and...
Well,
The
to
thing
me...
about this show is, in going into it, I had no idea there was any mystery.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
When I first was hearing about the show back when it first hit, the Western market,
And it's like, dude, why do I want to watch this?
why
Yeah.
would I want to watch this shit?
Well, because, like, on Netflix, like, the Colossal Titan, you just see his face. It's like,
You
why
don't
would I
know
want to
what it
watch
is.
this disgusting thing?
Yeah.
There's no appeal.
Like, there's no appeal.
Yeah.
And it starts out as, like, this horror, and then it becomes, like, this horror mystery.
Yep.
It's like a
And
horror
that's some of my
political-
favorite shows. That's how Game of Thrones started, and that's...
Yeah,
it's
it's
been
like a
one of my
horror
favorites.
political
It's
thriller.
like, why is
Yeah,
this happening?
yeah, and then it almost switches genres, and then it becomes, like, you and I always talk about, of course I could say this because you guys have all seen it, we always love talking about time and transcending time. Like, I love Interstellar and all that stuff. And this does that better than Well, I don't want to say better. I mean, that was a great movie.
Interstellar did it pretty artistically.
Yeah,
they're both great in their own way.
Yeah, this does it as well as anything I've seen.
This is very mysticized.
Yeah, because there's different ways you can do time travel.
It's more spiritual almost.
From Groundhog.
Well, in the idea of like being manipulated by your future self that is existing on the plane outside of time, and he's moving chess pieces.
Yeah,
and you might might disagree with your
loop.
Yeah.
It's a loop that they're in, and that's how he's able to influence himself.
Yeah.
That's the only explanation you could have. Otherwise, that version of you,
Yeah.
unless they're parallel dimensions, like alternate dimensions, there's no way that you could influence yourself.
Yeah. We don't know how that loop's going to
So what do they call it? The grandfather paradox?
Yeah.
So you just couldn't do it.
The show's mythology of Aaron being the villain tragically.
Well, we're talking about the
outside
time travel and the influence on himself and
when like
what he's experienced and what he knows.
I never thought
on that, so he probably doesn't know any farther than where he's at right now.
Right now, because I think he knew farther back then, right? Because when he touched the story,
that's what I'm saying. But his loop ends at that version of himself when he touched Zeke.
That is it right now.
Yeah.
When he touched Zeke,
I think so too.
Yeah.
So he didn't know like the future.
Nope, not past
that point.
Yeah.
He knew up to that point.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's when he touched Zeke.
That's what I'm getting from it.
Yeah.
I believe he discussed that. When he touched Zeke, he was able to actually tap into that.
Yeah.
Go back and reach out to him.
And just like the way Gabby because, like I end up, I don't say I love Zeke. I don't even like him, but I like him a lot more than I did.
Well,
he was my least favorite character. I wasn't even close.
He definitely was.
Yeah, I would say he was.
They've redeemed him.
More,
they made him cool, kind of.
They didn't redeem him. They didn't make him that cool, but he's... You have a little more sympathy for him.
Yeah, when he's like when his dad...
He's more of a sympathetic character now.
He was out on a mission.
Yeah.
And when his dad like breaks down and apologizes, crying, then he fucking starts crying.
That's emotional.
Oh, father.
Yeah, that's an emotional one.
Yeah, I just I couldn't even fucking believe it. And then you have to stop Aaron, and then you look up, he's standing there like this. And it's like, oh my god, this kid that had the annoying voice in season 1, that guy was so patient. He took so much shit from fans. And then eventually they came around to this season. He just had such a great performance. You know what I mean?
You just had to wait.
Yeah, you just had to wait. Yeah. Anyways, guys, before we jump in, if you want to support us, first of all, leave a comment. Say hi to Brett. He edits for us, and we're excited he's here. Check us out on Patreon. We have full-length uncut reactions. Obviously, you know all this. And we put our reactions to this show on there, and we will have to do that for our anime. Not sure what we're going to do after this. I was looking at something. The one thing I want us three to do. It's not done yet. And the dub doesn't come out for a few months.
No, so.
Yeah, so it's fucking shit. So we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do a poll. We'll see. Anyways, guys, let's jump into part 1 of the... Yeah, let's go!
Yeah! There's our hero!
Oh, yeah. You sons of bitches. All right, everyone, we're back. This is the post-discussion. Space Coast.
Where?
Coast to coast.
Coast to coast.
I mean, I loved it. It was a great precursor. Incredible moments, emotional. I mean, I fucking teared up a lot.
I definitely teared up in the Rhino scene.
Yeah. I mean, fucking...
I'll admit that. I teared up when he was, when he actually approached Connie.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? It was just a really touching
heartfelt.
moment.
Yeah, I mean, We're
just seeking that, just knowing that you can never do enough if you have that kind of... I mean, I haven't, killed millions of people.
Yeah.
But, if you have a lot of guilt, if you're carrying a lot of weight...
Yeah.
And releasing it.
And you always know that you always feel like you can never do enough to make up for that, how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is. I know you want other people... you're still seeking forgiveness, but it won't change what you feel about yourself on the inside. So you're just stuck in this state of shittiness.
Yeah.
And it was really meant a lot to hear. It was cool.
Yeah, I was so happy for him that I think one of my other favorite characters that's, kind of a little, I don't say he's a little self-righteous. He's certainly one of the best fighters, and I think he has maybe the best moral compass, or one of the best, besides maybe Armin, Jean.
I thought you were going to say Flock.
For Jean to say...
the fact that Flock was just hanging on by whatever the fuck on the boat that whole time. I mean, that's a lot.
It's a lot. I mean...
It's hard to even say, you mean he just let himself be dragged by the boat the entire way?
Yeah. And how long was that?
I know, it was a long time.
A very long time. A very long time.
Hanging in there, just waiting.
It's I hate Flock, but he had
a good end.
He had a good end.
I didn't like him at all. I hated him, but the ending they gave him was
and with Mikasa taking him out.
It was a good end for him.
I just mean it's just a good ending in general.
Yeah.
It was a good way to stitch up that character's arc. I mean, he didn't have to do anything meaningful for me.
No.
Yeah.
He was just a lackey.
Yep.
But
His philosophy, he kept with that all the way
yeah,
to
but
the end.
he was consistent. He died for his belief,
well, in the
doing something that
he wasn't. He was just fucking whiny and
Yeah.
But he hardened.
making us do this. I don't want to go do this. I don't want to go die.
Yeah.
And then he whined and bitched.
And then he was willing to die for his belief. He was against my protagonists.
I just don't like how he went from being what he was when you first meet him
Very whiny.
to just all of a sudden he's like one of those people that all of a sudden becomes religious.
Yeah.
And they can't shut up about it or like stop like proclaiming this, like you were saying, it's like a self-righteousness.
Yeah.
Like as like a soapboxing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what he felt like. It felt like he went from being the whiny guy that, you know, understandably a lot of people getting sent off to war even though he signed up for it.
Yeah.
In this circumstance, like just the way he was acting.
Yeah.
Whereas not everybody was doing that. He was fucking, you know what I mean? And he went from that to all of a sudden, you know, praise be to Aaron and all sort of shit.
Yeah.
But he had a good ending.
Yeah, he had a good ending, and you know they still felt like, hey, he's still a comrade. I think they all feel so mixed up on like about their own guilt. And back to Rhina, I just love when Jean said, "I'm sorry for judging you." You know, you know, Jean, he probably needed to hear that from Jean almost the most. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved it, and you know, because he's felt so alone with his guilt, and now he maybe doesn't have to feel alone anymore. So
that's part of it too.
Yeah, that's why
forgiveness.
Yeah, that's why I loved it, and I think that was kind of the theme. Is like we've all done shitty things. We're all doing shitty things to try to stop a very shitty thing. Mm-hmm. But those stepping stones of shittiness that we take to do something good, they're all unforgivable steps, almost. You know.
Well, it's this story's somewhat unique. Maybe not though. I mean, you got 3 seasons, right? This is the end of 3rd season.
This is the end of 4th, isn't it?
Yeah, end of 4th season.
This is part 3 of season 4. Okay.
Yeah.
So
chapter 3 of
it
just keeps going.
So season 4. I mean, you got 4 seasons where they never even touched on any kind of romance whatsoever.
No.
Until like just relatively recently.
Yeah.
And they hinted at it enough with a little bit with Armin when he was talking to Annie and
because
it's because of Bertold.
Just a good conversation they had. Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't really delve into it. And now at this point, him and Annie are actually talking.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's a little like you can blame it on what's going on with Bertold, but I feel as though it's probably
where does Bertold?
It's more
where does Bertold end and Armin begin?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I think it's more Armin than it is Bertold for sure.
I want to give it that because Armin, you think would at least recognize.
Yeah.
That okay, this is because of Bertold,
and this is
because
can
you
me.
influence
this is
that?
How I feel it.
Yeah, I mean,
but can you separate it from?
Yeah,
yourself?
I don't know, but it almost doesn't matter to me. Like,
well, he's part of it now
because I mean, whatever's making Armin like her, he likes her.
Yeah,
and I you know, it's weird because like I hated Bertolt, Rhina, and Annie so fucking much at first. And then I ended up loving those characters. Not really Bertolt so much, and he kind of died early on.
Well, that's why.
And I hated the way he died. It was just very disturbing. But Rhina, I mean, I would just love for Annie to have a happy ending. Rhina,
same.
I know the rule is like of cinema is like, well, do these characters have done terrible things? Like Darth Vader, does he get? I mean, you can have redemption, but you don't get to live. Like now, because Aaron is like a step above all those characters now.
Yeah, now he is.
I feel like all those characters could live and live out their lives. But Aaron, I just don't think. I think they're a little delusional.
I think Aaron and Mikasa are going to die
together or separate.
Something to that effect. I think it'll be kind of like the Strain.
I haven't seen that, so you'll have to elaborate on that.
Well, I don't want to spoil for you, but it just the ending.
Well, I mean,
yeah, like the people who died.
The people you think, you know, traditionally, most of the people you think would die off in, like, say, in a film format.
Yeah.
They're not the ones that died.
Okay.
And the ones that do die are the ones that you kind of think...
There's one in particular you think, oh, they won't kill him, you know?
Yeah.
And then they do.
Yeah.
So, they... meaningfully...
Yeah.
It's all done very meaningfully, and that's how I feel like this is going to happen here. I think that Mikasa will probably die taking out Aaron.
Yeah.
Too many names close together.
I know.
There's
Aaron,
a couple of them.
Erwin.
Yeah.
Erwin.
Yeah, wrong.
There's a few.
When they were kind of like in that...
But Mikasa, though, I'm to that point, though. Like,
yeah.
Mikasa is expressing it, too.
Because she's been the most quiet about what she needs to do.
Annie about it. You almost had that girl talk.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah.
But it just didn't happen.
Didn't get there yet.
When they were all in the higher plane desert fourth dimension place.
Yep.
I got emotional when they were just fucking pleading with him.
Yeah.
Like, please stop, and
Except for Levi, I want to kick you in the ass one more time.
Yeah, but that's on brand for him.
Yeah,
you know, I didn't
awesome.
need him to plead, but yeah, Aaron, it's a little, it's almost a little bit of a conundrum. Like, do you think he wants to be stopped?
Oh, you mean with what Arnold
Because
was supposing?
yeah, they wouldn't write Reiner to say that if they didn't want the audience to be thinking it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he sees himself in Rhina, and Rhina sees himself in Aaron. So
Yeah.
there's reflections there. Mm-hmm. I think Aaron is probably not. He's not going to be able to let go of this.
No.
Yeah.
He has to be able to see it.
Yeah, I mean, you see how he was in the beginning with that. I mean, when he's fucking with that kid,
Fight.
the way they did all that shit
Yeah.
was just epically tragic
It
and
was.
sad as
You see
fuck.
all
I
those
think
people
he
dying.
wants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
I think he wants his friends to stop him. It's on like, hey, I'm letting you have the powers. Come stop me. Fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only one way out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, like
I just feel as though
I
that
have
he-
to do this, or
I
I'm
think
gonna.
Mikasa's
Yeah.
gonna take the killing blow.
I think so.
I
I'll
kind of think
take her
she
out,
needs
too.
to. If it wasn't her,
I think it has to be her.
Yeah.
yeah.
And what happens when she kills him?
You know what's weird is like if it's not her, I almost feel like it should be Reiner. I don't know why.
Doesn't it just
I
go
feel
to
like
another kid?
I think.
Didn't they say that if someone
Yeah,
dies?
if they die, then it's like without being consumed, that someone else is just born with it somewhere else.
So how are you gonna stop this whole thing?
I almost literally brought in my Avatar knowledge. Like, what if Aaron's in the Avatar state?
Yeah.
but that's a different
And he
show.
has three-
If he gets killed in the Avatar state,
Well, I mean, maybe the discussion that he tried to have with Mikasa about opening up to him and telling her how we're already addressing it to some degree, some level of romance between some characters. Maybe
Definitely.
she'll open up to him.
Yeah.
Like, he was looking for that.
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. She might end up saying something like, "Time to take
I
it
mean,
all back,"
it's a little tacky when we've gotten to this point.
like genocide.
Yeah, we're literally genociding the world.
Yeah.
And not in any uniform way. It's just they're being completely just smashed. You're destroying the earth. And she
Scorched
finally
earth
says,
policy.
"I love you." Like, oh baby, okay. I'll stop.
I'll stop now.
Like, I don't
Let me
I don't
hang up
believe
the
it.
Warhammer.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think he'll just jump
No,
out.
I
I mean, I
Stop.
know men have started wars over women.
Yeah.
In terms of
Oh, yeah.
legend. Now, whether or not Troy really happened because of Helen, I doubt it. That's probably like a romantic version.
Yeah.
Of, okay, we actually wanted to take Troy,
Yeah,
and this is our reason.
we're using this
Yeah.
shit.
Right.
Yeah,
Fucking took
something. Yep.
You took her!
Yeah.
She's not even that pretty!
yeah,
You can have her back. Too late. We're here.
yeah.
I don't know, because you look at, like, we were talking about Game of Thrones earlier. Robert
Yeah.
Baratheon started the War of Rebellion.
Yeah.
Over Lyanna Stark being kidnapped.
That was very.
Yep.
When you find out all that shit, is incredibly. I love
It's that
it.
mystery.
It's incredibly emotional.
Trying to solve that
Yeah,
mystery.
just that
as
first
it goes.
episode
That's
when
why
he's
this
like-
is such a great show.
Yeah, I agree. Like in that first episode when he was like, he just wanted to go straight to the crypt, and he's like down there just talking to Ned, like should have been me and her, and
Yeah. She was so
you know,
beautiful.
and Seven Kingdoms cannot fill the hole
hole
that she
in my
left.
heart.
And that's a
Yeah, that
romance.
she loved,
That's
yeah.
a romance to human nature that even exists in the real world, where you,
Yeah.
you tie a romance to these things, these great, like kind of, there's a great story most people want to have, like
mythic.
story of their life.
Yeah.
Mythic story.
Like I told somebody at work one time, like they're putting their life together and they got married and they wanted to buy a house. It's like you're painting a picture.
Yeah.
And you're painting a picture on the wall and you put yourself in your
Blank canvas and you add
yeah,
this,
and now you
you
painted
add
your wife
that.
in there. So now you want to paint a house in there, and then you want to paint some kids in there later.
Yeah,
There's a little dog.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah,
you know
you just add
you want to
into
paint
the
on
painting.
like what's your outfit going to look like what your
Until it's
career
framed.
would be that would make sense of
Yep.
who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
and like you're always painting that, and it's kind of like that with Baratheon. He was a whoremonger,
Yep.
yeah,
and like from what I understand, Lyanna, that's her name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's using that your kid's name.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't do that first, so we heard the name somewhere else
Okay.
before,
I mean, they used it
before we
there.
even got married. They
Okay.
used it from us.
No, did they?
Yeah,
George
I
Harbaugh.
heard George say it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a good name.
Yeah.
I did not imagine the horror like up close, like because I imagine just things getting squished quickly. But then when they put a microscope on, all the panic and like the people
Rocks
burning
flying.
and the crying, it's just
Yeah.
fucking
Showed the kids being squished.
terrible.
Yeah.
And then like to me, it kind of kept showing the one Titan that had like a weird look on his face, like it was panicking. Like
With the eyes.
yeah, I thought it was like Aaron. I think his consciousness is in all these, right? He's controlling them all.
It looked like one of the eyes were a little green on one of them that I saw.
Well, to me, it more looked like he
talking
had
about
the same face that Aaron had in the flashback.
Yeah,
when he
the
was telling-
bland, that bland
Oh.
kind of horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Blank
they're also the
state.
one when they were walking towards the train in Marley.
Yeah.
Later, they just had this.
Yeah, mean look.
determined mean
Yeah.
look. Yeah.
They all have a little bit different.
That's very good observation.
Yeah,
But when it showed that one with the horror on its face, not all of them looked that way.
Yeah, you figured they would all look that way. So maybe it's because Aaron knew this was the one that was going to be
the one
squished it.
Yeah, that squished it. Yeah, because he did cry in that scene when he was talking to the kid.
Imagine,
hey, I'm sorry, this is going to happen. And
imagine being hooked into God mode and seeing and feeling everything, and experiencing everything, past, present, and future. Yeah, well, within your loop at least. Like, how do you get off of that? You know,
I don't know.
Like,
you might not be able to.
You went to that point.
It's like when
Brand, point of no return.
Yeah,
you've already seen it now. You just have to keep doing it. You cross
like the metaphorical Rubicon.
Yeah, so I wonder though if they're planning to take out the Beast Titan, if that will come to anything.
Yeah, because he would know that, and he'd go, "Well, I'm just going to prepare for that." You know what I mean?
Well, they're going to fight. So,
yeah.
I mean, he probably has so many tricks up his sleeve. Like, it's God mode, but it's probably not like
it's
manifest shit out of thin.
Yeah, he's not going to control their will. But if he knew, if he knows they're going for Zeke, couldn't he like?
What's the thing? Like he's not
connected.
They just separated Zeke.
Yeah,
and he can manifest Zeke via the Warhammer Titan. That's how he did what he
the
did.
umbilical cord.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But if they separated it though,
then it turns back to Zeke.
But is that Zeke?
But can he just do a bunch of
because he was still gray like the
Can he just do a bunch of different Beast Titans?
He just got disconnected.
I just kind of assumed it was kind of like a. It reminds me of some other anime, but there's a fake version of somebody that obviously
what's it called?
Like a putty.
Yeah, there's another word for that.
Duplicate.
No, it's like a doppelganger, but it's a better word. They use it to describe like a doll. It's like if I make a doll of you
on effigy.
Effigy. It's like an effigy of them.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the right word. I just wanted to know the word. I couldn't remember the word. So write that down and put in my vocabulary words.
Well, effigy is like what they make to burn the Guy Fawkes on Guy Fawkes Day in England.
Okay.
They make an effigy of them and they burn it.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know.
The effigy of people they make to burn at the fucking...
Yeah.
That shit that Richard Nixon talked about out in Bohemian Grove.
I don't know if Zeke is personally in there. I don't know if he needs to be, because if he...
Well, not in that little vessel.
Yeah.
They had. I kind of doubt it because of the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that, it's not him. This will be the next episode deal.
Yeah.
I just wonder how they'll draw him out, though. If he doesn't have an independent consciousness of Aaron.
Yeah, is Aaron just controlling him now?
Yeah.
What would the Beast Titan and the Colossal look like?
They did the Goku Vegeta dance, or whatever it's called.
And
I've always wondered
Aaron
what
got to be the one who controlled the body.
The Jaw Titan and the Beast Titan, what would that look like?
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially the combinations. There's got to be somebody that's done combinations out there of that.
The Warhammer and the armor probably look pretty cool.
Yeah, they would be,
Yeah, that would be a good one.
So, explain to me, I'm trying to understand exactly Falco's dream. Like the ability that he thinks he can... I was thinking what you're thinking. Like, can he just fly?
Yeah.
Well, I wrote this down. So remember in the first episode when we first meet him, they're on that battlefield and he's looking up and he's like pointing up at the sky and he just woke up.
Because that's my favorite openings. That's my favorite ending song too.
Yeah. When Gabby blew that train up.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and he was like,
"You're right.
Was I just flying?" That's why. As soon as he said that, I was like, "Oh, I remember that from the first time we met him."
You also remember when he took the form of the Jaw Titan, he looks more like a bird.
He does.
Yeah,
he's got the big beak.
Yep, he's got the
talons too.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I wonder if
just without the
wings. And his fucking name.
Yeah, Falco.
Yeah,
it's like straight out of a Marvel comic.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Otto Octavius, he becomes Doc Ock. I mean,
yeah, you know what? I think that's absolutely correct. Then, yeah, I imagine that they'll come in and save the day at some point. And I don't want.
Yeah,
but how? And them, that's the big one.
Yeah, if anything, they might turn the tide.
Yeah, turn the tide.
Things might not be looking good, and all of a sudden they come in.
End all the Titans is what it seems like it should get to.
I'm telling you,
ending all
come
the Titans.
Through Mikasa.
Aaron eats everybody.
Mikasa
eats everybody.
Yeah, Mikasa
it's going to be through Mikasa getting through to Aaron.
Yeah, Mikasa needs
because they've had that conversation, and it did not come to its fulfillment. It was not fulfilled.
Then Armin nukes him.
Yeah.
Is Armin going to get the lady at the end? I mean, they both got pretty short lifespans.
Yeah.
Nanny, so will he just man up and kiss her, and then they all die?
Ooh, she could give Gabby.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if they die saving the world, I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't hate it. It would just be, Yeah, I loved it. I love this show. It's I'd recommend anybody. I haven't,
We also didn't address. There's a few other things. The Cart Titan.
Yeah.
It was loaded up with explosives.
Oh, yeah.
Once they dived down.
Forgot about that.
So I wonder if she's meant to jump into the dragon's mouth, so to speak.
Ooh, yeah.
Blow something up. Kind of another...
Kind of like
what Aaron did to Historia's dad when he threw all those barrels in the mouth.
Yeah, so that's what I'm wondering if I didn't quite remember that, but that's not pretty much what I was thinking.
Well, I was here last time when we were
watching. Also, with Jaws, like Bruce on fucking Jaws when they hit the air tanks in his mouth. Smile, you son of a bitch, and it's like that. So you've got that option.
I completely forgot about that. It's fun. I think we were both thinking right. I didn't know that. I missed it because I'm an idiot. But right when the jaw titan landed, I'm like, what's she gonna do? That's right when I was like,
Titan, you mean?
Yeah, the car titan. That's what's she gonna do? But that could be a big thing. Actually, and I actually like Peak a lot. I like the character.
Do. She's all right.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like
you just don't like her Titan.
I don't fucking like her Titan at all.
He can't divorce that from that.
I can't. No, I'm sorry.
He can dislike an actor for a role.
Yeah.
From a movie that this guy
especially how her
was
voice
probably forced to
too.
do because he had a contract with WB or something.
You signed up for it.
Like Matt Damon, like for him to do I think it was like Ridley Scott's movie, The Martian, which is fucking good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He had to do some actually a movie that I kind of like these type of movies from the early 2000s. It was like a co-production with us and in Asia. I can't remember where.
So to get that role, he had to do another role.
Yeah, they had to say, well, we want you in this kind of teensy blockbuster.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens all the time.
Yeah,
and that would suck.
Yeah, I mean,
that's probably why the B movie actors stay B movie actors. Like, I'm not gonna fucking do that. Fuck off.
Yeah,
maybe I don't know, but I do because I do know that because Jeremy Renner and Michelle from Full House's sister, kind of hot chick, big old titties, who played WandaVision or Wanda.
Oh, Elizabeth Olsen.
They did Wind River.
Yeah, very good.
Because they wanted, and they only let them do it because you guys are big because you're in Marvel movies, so you do that.
So I know this will do good.
We'll let you come over here and do that then. So Jeremy Renner's like, I'm glad I'm in Marvel because I get to do what I want now. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's freedom within it as well.
Wind River was really
But you also have obligations sometimes.
My favorite part of that's the death phase thing. Because my death phase is I don't even know what this shit is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was tragic too, though.
I mean, it was sad.
But the flashback with Shane, though, from The Walking Dead, I don't say it's my favorite part, but it's the most powerful part.
John Bernthal.
Yeah, John Bernthal. That was the most powerful part of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways.
Ervin's voice.
Oh, yeah, good job. Yeah.
Again?
I mean, that character...
I only took 4 notes, so I'm making sure everyone's all
they've been half the conversation. I'm so glad to see him again, and it kind of... I don't need to have my imagination wondering if, is there a... Are they looking down on us? They just gave us the answer. They're there. They're happy.
Yep.
The guys that we've seen die terrible deaths, they're all there and they're whole. And that's beautiful, I think.
And they're following them along.
Yeah.
And, of course, one major thing we need to address in this episode is Hanji's death.
Yes.
So.
I mean, I just think it was a great death. It happened so fast. Oh, you guys, I'm going. Yeah. She was kind of a smart ass.
Very in keeping.
Very funny.
Yeah, it was it was on, like you said, it was in keeping with her brand.
Yep.
And
she has not changed since the first time we met her.
Yeah,
right. She's like this weird, spastic, giddy, curiosity, and then on top of that,
and smart.
Very smart and reflective.
Yeah.
And then kind of she breaking things
Thorough.
down, calculating.
Yeah,
calculated.
Looking through that shit. So it was all very in keeping. I mean, it kind of seemed like I'm not quite sure when she said that. Well, I've been waiting for this kind of thing with Levi. I wasn't sure that I quite bought that she's been waiting for it.
Yeah,
it didn't really make it seem like she was. But
everyone's waiting for some kind of word of empathy from him or word
Give
of
your heart.
Well, no, that's not what she was saying it about. Though I thought she was.
Levi's never like that.
She said that before he said that. She was saying, I've been waiting for this when she was going off to go do it when she first.
Maybe she was anticipating him doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm waiting for this, and then he does it.
Maybe.
I
could have read it wrong.
I mean, maybe, or I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if she's waiting on.
It would make more.
I think she said, "Let me have this."
She said, "Let me have this," but she said though that you can rewind it if you want to. But she says
that tape.
She basically says, "You're right that she does say that," but she says something like, "I've been wanting this" or something like that.
Maybe a good
death. Maybe it's like I'm tired of this fucking job. It's stressful.
Yeah, that's why she gave it out.
She gave it to Arvin. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know.
Maybe something similar to Ervin, to be like that. to have like to go out like that.
That moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, I mean,
And she went out like a scout too.
Yeah, she went out with
She
the
went out
ODM
slicing
gear
and
and
dicing.
It was a good
Tripping them up. They're walking through each other.
I'm glad we didn't have any
sweet.
kind of anything close to what happened to Armin. Like
No, yeah.
zooming
He
in
had a
and seeing
long
him
death
screaming
scene,
for
burning.
like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah,
feeling.
I mean, I think it went quick for her. And I'm glad that she woke up in the afterlife. And, I loved it. It just
this is a really good special for the first one.
Yeah, everything was great in this episode.
It was.
No complaints. I'm just wondering how it's going to end. I don't think they're going to. I mean, there's only a few things. They're going to stop the rumbling or not. I think they're going to. I think Aaron has to die somehow, and I think
so
Mikasa has to be heavily involved, and hopefully it's meaningful. It's kind of what I want.
And do you think Levi gets his vendetta?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's been going on too long.
To not give it to him would be very disappointing.
So in that case, then that means that the two of them would have to be separated.
Yes.
For that fight to happen.
Which I think that's why the bill.
Yeah, so is it going to be Zeke in his consciousness, though?
I think it will be Zeke.
Yeah, that's what I'm
unattached.
saying. To have that confrontation. But to be unattached, though, that's one other thing. That can't be him that was just detached from the umbilical cord because Aaron wouldn't be able to do what he's doing anymore.
Because he wouldn't be touching him.
Yeah.
But maybe he just needs to touch him to get the founder power and not have to touch anymore.
Well, I don't think that would work, though, because that's what was discussed. That's how he was able to go back in time the first time when it showed Grisha.
Yeah.
Because they only touched the one time, but then after that, he didn't have the power anymore.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Until after...
True. So he can't be jumping up and down because of
the Beast Titan.
The power will be skipping,
Yeah.
So he's got to be in there. They have to separate him at some point. Yeah. They have to.
Mm-hmm. In order to stop it completely.
Yeah.
Or unless
and
they kill
for
him.
Levi to finally beat the Beast
Or they don't give Levi his moment.
That would be so disappointing.
But to have him go through what he went through and be back and not give him a moment, I feel would be kind of bad writing.
It was almost
like Sandor Clegane going back to fucking to fight his brother.
They never gave it to him.
Oh. Well, it's almost problematic. You know what I mean? They have to solve the plot of like how do we separate them and make sure Aaron's still a threat and
it's like Perfect Cell.
You know what I mean?
Well, it may not be
Take
about
out the android. He goes back down a size.
Yeah, well, it's like the thing though is it may not have to be about the ultimate threat. Like maybe once that's resolved and the toll's been paid, like maybe a bunch of people have died, and it's just about the question after that, like dealing with the personal.
Ooh, does that take the Titans out? The Colossals too? Does that stop all of them like the mothership?
Or do they wander aimlessly?
Independence Day.
I think I don't know.
They just wander around aimlessly.
Yeah.
Like,
God, there'd be so many to go around.
Walking around.
One underneath the sea at the very end. Just walking.
Yeah, we haven't
But
seen.
he was right though too. Like when they go into the ocean, it's like fucking Godzilla. There's goddamn Godzilla movies. Like the newest one especially. Okay, that fucking thing. It would not be able to stand up there where it was. It's the depths of the ocean.
Yeah.
And those damn.
Well, do you remember those Titans though? When they got in the water, they were shooting like missiles at them. They were going.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it did show them swimming.
Yeah, they were fast.
Very swim.
They were swimming.
That's why I thought like if they wanted to, could Aaron just make those things run? Like if there's like a group getting away with a bunch of horses, like one starts sprinting.
If he could make them run on land, how much ground they'd cover so fast?
That's true, but they may not actually trample it all out though.
No,
because they'd be skipping a lot of.
But man, they kick a mountain.
Yeah, they have to like do this.
Yeah,
it'd be meteor shower.
You're right. I just feel they're probably like, just going at a slow pace to make sure it's all thorough.
Yeah,
thoroughly squashed.
Because
if they're running, they'd be like, it'd be such a.
But if you had if you had 100 of them like in a row.
Yeah, but then
he's got millions.
I know, but you just have to make sure.
Sequence, they're not doing that now.
You have to make sure you just didn't step in the footsteps of the one before you.
They're not even looking where they're walking. There's just so many of them that they're just doing
they could kick up enough ground to just cover everything.
Yeah, they're not.
I wouldn't want to see that stuff.
So they're just walking.
Do you think Aaron in any way wants to kill his friends?
No, he said, I want you guys, I'm not going to take anything from you.
Yeah, but he said you're welcome to try. Like, Zeke was throwing shit at the plane. Like, he could have
He did say, I guess, the only way to do it is to kill them, basically. So,
come fight.
It's all boiling down to, I'm going to make you do this.
Yeah.
So,
you want to stop
everyone's hands are tied. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think he's going to let himself die.
No, I don't think he'll just let himself.
Not at this point. Maybe if he's beaten and there's nothing left and he's separated from Zeke, maybe he'll let himself die then.
Okay.
While he still has this power, I don't think he's going to.
But I don't think he'll kill Mikasa and Armin. The other ones he probably would if he had to, but just those two and those three together, I don't see that happening.
Okay.
They have too much that special,
too close.
Place.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree. Falco crying just upsets me.
Yeah, it is. He's such a good kid.
You don't feel bad for little kids crying?
Not that kid. I mean, for one.
Out of everyone in the show, when he cries, it's the worst.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not that attached to him, I guess.
He's a good boy.
Okay.
Yeah. My argument is it's sad because he is morally he's virtuous.
I guess I'm not imprinting anything on him as a character in the show. He's just he's a kid that's going to have some role, and he's the good kid, and him and Gabby have this thing.
Yeah.
And...
Like the argument I would say, like, if with Gabby before she kind of redeemed herself as a character, like her crying versus versus Falco crying.
Well, it's
way
they
different.
they weren't just crying and like it was more like a hysterical crying.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
And I guess for me, the hysterical crying is like,
Gabby.
hey, you got to calm the fuck down.
Yeah, Gabby's gotten that way.
If your family was killed, would you not be hysterical?
I'm not saying he shouldn't be.
Well, that was
I'm just
friends,
saying when I'm listening to him cry, I'm like, oh, that poor kid. I'm thinking, you got to calm down.
Yeah.
Like this noise level is.
We've all
disrupting
lost
my
somebody,
thought.
like Rocket said.
Yes.
We've all lost people.
Yeah.
But it's just a fucking what do you call it? Sensory overload.
Yeah.
When people were like get that way,
Gabby's,
it's hard for me
big time
to
with her.
be like, not just calm down.
Yeah.
You know what
This
I
is
mean?
the first time we've really seen Falco go all out like that.
No.
Yeah, because he sounded like Connie at first. When
Yeah, you thought it was Connie.
Because Connie does that sometimes.
Yeah.
He screams
I
and
thought
carries
so,
on
too.
like that, and then it wasn't him. So.
Yeah. We got a couple Annie specials left that seem so insignificant now. But now that I actually want to, like, I'm really invested in her character. Like, that was a very good part 1 OVA, actually. Way different than the normal. Yeah, way different than the normal format of the show.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you tune back next week, or if you're a patron, check that out for the finale. But like I said, we probably do the Annie stuff. I don't know. Then maybe that will come out first. So you would have already seen that, actually. All right. See you next week.